4, 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Michael Patterson. We're talking about Better Brains by Design. This is an initiative that MindRep Consulting has put together. We've got seminars and workshops and books. The idea behind this is that we now know enough about the neuroplasticity of the brain to actually design brains that get stronger as we get older and design our minds in ways that we can flourish rather than suffer. So I want to focus now on just this whole idea of plasticity. New revelation for the neuroscience field over the last 20, maybe 30 years. They really developed this. Previously, they thought that the brain was stable. You had all of the neurons you were ever going to have. They didn't really change a lot. How could they change and still have memory? So the idea was that you just were born with what you had, and gradually you lost them as you got older. Now that they can look inside active brains and living brains with neuroimaging, they realize that was totally wrong. Your brain is changing all of the time. And the fascinating thing is that it changes in response to everything that we do. This is called activity-dependent plasticity. The brain, the literal structure of the brain changes depending upon what we do, what we experience, even what we feel and what we think. You can change your brain by thinking in one way as opposed to another way. And this is very powerful. It gives us the control to be mindful about what we do so that we construct our brain and stimulate plastic growth rather than just sort of sit back and leave it all to chance. Because one of the things that's very important to know about plasticity is it works both ways. If you're stimulating the brain, it can grow and become stronger and more complex. If you do negative things to your brain, or if you do nothing, it'll begin to atrophy. Those connections will... When brain cells are not being used, the resources in the brain, the limited resources, will go to areas that are being used. So those areas will tend to atrophy. So very important concept. I just want to leave it at that point. But the neuroplasticity of the brain gives us the power to design what we want our brains to, how we want our brains to behave in terms of health, self, our personal development, how we deal with others. So very important concept, neuroplasticity.